Hi, everyone. My name is Nicole, and welcome to the podcast. We'll be sharing wisdom and encouragement from my mom, a woman who has created a 36-year marriage full of joy and love, and raised 3 children to adulthood that love her and love each other. We'll be talking about how to be a great mom, how to be a great wife, and how to love your life in the process. I have seen how much effort you put into being a mom and a wife, and I know that that is just a ton of effort. So how do you prepare yourself for the realities of the amount that goes into being excellent at these things?
One is, for me, was just making that decision. Not doing a great job I did not want to suffer the ramifications of that because I'd seen too many other people have those ramifications. So I put a line in the sand for myself that I was going to be as supportive of a wife as I could. I would just say to myself, sometimes, I can be sarcastic in my own mind. And that's how I get through, is like with a little giggle or a little laugh, or just like, oh yeah, I can do this. I just wanted you to know that I was going to be there, that you didn't have to worry about. I didn't want you to want, where is my parent? What has priority over me? And that's why the only times I volunteered was when you could see me volunteer. I never went off and did volunteering that you didn't see me, because I wanted you to know that you were my priority. And I knew there's time now in my life I could go do other things. And I just knew that day would come where you would be raised enough that I could go on and do some things that I wanted for myself. And I definitely took some me time, whether it just be going to the grocery store or a walk, or sitting in the chair and reading a book and putting a video on for you, so I could have that regroup time and be able to handle the why questions that come at you 1,000 times, which is good and fun.
Yeah, I like that. I think you have a lot of different clever ways of carving out some me time. So I think the grocery store is one thing, where you'll go and maybe spend a little bit more time being quiet and out of the house by yourself. But what are some of the other ways that you have created time for yourself to give because you are more of an introvert and you really do need your time, and you were blessed with a husband and daughter and that really love your attention, and then 2 boys that also really love your attention, and lots of other people that love your attention. So how do you balance those?
Well, at the end of the day, what am I most proud of? My most proud of moments are spending time with my family and making everybody laugh, and, making food that everybody, we can sit around and enjoy. And those are the things that bring me joy at the end of the day. So I don't need a lot of downtime, but I definitely need it. And just realize that for yourself, and sometimes it's just going into the bathroom and just sitting there and going, okay, what do I do? How am I going to get through this? I'm tired. And sometimes it's just, hey, let's all sit on the floor and put a video on. And then I fall asleep, but I know you're right there next to me. And I just try to do creative ways that you didn't know that I was recharging my batteries when you were young, because you wouldn't have understood that. But you did. As you got older, you understood that this is what you need as a mom and a wife, because it's very demanding. But I also signed up for it gladly. And I was very, very happy that I became a mom and a wife. So I just looked at that, and I just look at what is going to make me proud of what I have done at the end of my life. And it's going to be that I was a good wife and a good mom. And so here I am. It's good.
Yeah. You did a really good job.
Well, it's not over yet.
No, it's certainly not. All the time.
And babies.
Yes. Oh, yes.
One day. No pressure.
No pressure. That's okay. I want kids. Okay. So we had talked a bit about if you could change one thing about parenting, you would stop worrying. And I think you have helped me a lot with trying to not worry. So when you think about worry or anxiety, what are some of the tools that you use to work through that?
Well, for me, it's God. I give it to God. I hot potato it right up to him.
Explain that concept a little bit.
Yeah, that's not something I came up with. Somebody talked to me about this one day, and it's that if you have a problem and you've played hot potato as a child, which you just toss the hot potato or whatever, that you give it right to God.
Mhm.
And then you don't concern yourself because he's got it. And that's the way I have lived my life. And worrying is easy to do because I think the world makes you, they want you in a state of worriness and fret and not comfort and peace. So it's just taking that and realizing how am I going to get the best behavior out of this child? And worrying just is empty. It's emptiness. And it's the opposite of faith. And I wanted to have more faith in my life. So I just cultivated the faith.
Yeah, I love that hot potato. I've told so many people about that, and they love it. This idea of there's so many things in this life that we just can't control or have power over, and therefore, I think to your point, preparing for it is good. You know, preparing for, you know, making sure your car is maintained and making sure you have extra food in the house. Like, being prepared is good, but I think worrying is not. And this idea of, if it's something that's too big, or even if it's something small, just throwing it to God and trusting that He will take care of it is just so powerful. And He is more than trustworthy, and has been in both of our lives, but then also throughout all of human history. And so this idea of He can handle it.
Got a big God.
Yeah. So I love that. That was really helpful for me. Okay. All right. Changing gears a little bit. One of my favorite sayings, as you think about, you know, kind of back to our previous conversation on how much effort it takes to parent, you kind of say this thing about the days being long with the years being short. Talk about how that impacted your day to day.
There are very many long days in raising children. You know, there's a lot of laundry, there's a lot of dishes, there's a lot of decisions, there's a lot of structure, there's a lot of driving, there's a lot of other parents, other children, and it can be very exhausting. But somebody had told me that the days are long, but the years are short. And it does. The years go by so quickly. But I wanted to hold on to those days and enjoy them. So I did my best to enjoy them, because I knew that they were going to end. I knew you weren't going to be 2 forever. I knew you weren't going to be 5 forever. I knew you weren't going to be in 7th grade forever. I knew you were going to go away to college. I just wanted to enjoy the seconds that I had with you and make those as meaningful and impactful, so that you and I, you know, would have the relationship that we have now.
Yeah, no, I love that. And I think that teaching us delayed gratification, you know, we talked about a bit, but this idea of, even for yourself, keeping your eye on the prize and working bit by bit towards that goal, I think, you know, is very wise. But yeah, there's a lot. It's a lot.
It is a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. But it's also like anything. The time you put in is worth what you get out of it. And that's another thing, you know, just thinking about raising children and marriage, is that you're raising kids, but you're really going for the prize of what have you accomplished? And looking back, you know, at your children and how much time you put into them, and all the decisions, all the unselfish things you do. And then you see that they're making those decisions as adults that are going to benefit them and your grandchildren. It just bring a lot of peace and a lot of joy. Yeah, it's good.
That is good.
It is good.